Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Boss on here. I am back with another video here on the channel. And this, as you can tell, I'm using my real voice, and that is because, well, I have a story time to tell you guys. I mean, it's been quite a while. It's been like almost a month since I told a story here on this channel. That's because I'm focusing on the edits for Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, editing videos for Yu-Gi-Oh! But I actually have another story to tell you guys. And this is another dream story time. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, it looks like a volcano. And that is because the video is titled something about a volcano. And I thought this might be an interesting story to tell you guys. So without further ado, grab your snacks, drinks, and whatever drinks. Oh my god, why can I not say any word? I feel like I'm becoming dyslexic. But yeah, grab your drinks and whatever you need to get ready for story time. And let's get into me scaring myself.
Yeah, I pull up and I got those. You haters looking cheesy like some nachos, but I will never stop though.
Now, the area that this dream took place was where I actually lived. Now, I'm not gonna say where I actually live for this story because I don't really like having people randomly showing up to my house. So the city we're gonna be calling for the purpose of this story is Iceron. I mean, that's just a name of a place that does not even exist, but I'm just gonna call it Iceron. And Iceron was a place that just for some reason in my brain process just looks like the actual place I live in reality, like my actual home I live in. And so how it looks like is that there's this giant city next to a hill and a giant mountain, and this giant city is divided up to 4 other small cities, and I live on the hill that's part of this giant area. And for this dream story time, like how the same other story time was, is that this one was during the place that took place in Halloween. I don't know why it's Halloween, but sometimes stories tend to be weird. I don't know what's going on, but I just tend to get very weird dreams. I mean, some of them are entertaining and some of them are not. But we get ready for Halloween. I'm again in my SWAT costume, as I think I said in the other Halloween video. But in this video, we were going to trick-or-treat in this little city where it had like businesses, restaurants, and all that stuff, which seems very confusing and weird when it comes to trick-or-treating, because normally you would trick-or-treat in a neighborhood with like houses and stuff. But in this case, in this dream, we trick-or-treated in like restaurants and shops, which again is pretty confusing, but that's just how it went. And so when we got to the first city, we parked in this parking lot that was like 20 floors. You know those inside parking lots where it's not just like this one full parking lot where there's no roof. It's like a giant parking lot, but it's on top of a parking lot on top of a parking lot. There's like 20 floors, and I think everyone knows what a parking lot like building looks like when there's multiple parking lots instead of just one singular one. But since it was very packed that we had to go to the 20th floor, which took a very long time. I mean, not very long time, but it was not fun just to wait and go up 20 floors with a bunch of cars trying to get into other parking spots. So it obviously this was going to be a slow process, but we eventually got on the 20th floor. We entered the elevator, we go down the elevator, and we finally open the doors and start checking out all the shops and stuff. And so we trick-or-treat for at least an hour, and we finish. And after an hour, we finish trick-or-treating, and we're like, hey, we're going to go over to the second city. So we pack up all of our stuff, and you would probably think, hey, we got to like a bunch of candy, didn't we? Well, no, not even close. Like, we had very large backpacks for some reason, so like only like 25% of the backpack was full of candy. I mean, you gotta get that grind, you gotta get as much candy as you can, because, you know, everyone likes candy now these days. I mean, as a person that's almost an adult, I don't really eat candy that much because I'm just trying to get healthy. I mean, as a kid, everyone knows that when they're like kids, eating a lot of sugar doesn't really matter to the health. I mean, once as you get older, you'll start eating less candy because you want to get healthier. I mean, you'll understand once you get a little bit older, then your body will appreciate it if you start eating healthier stuff. Like, I don't know why I'm ranting about this, but that's just how life goes for me, at least. So, well, there was one problem though, that when we get up to the elevator, I told my parents, hey, while you guys are going up to the elevator, I'm gonna have to stay here because I need to use the restroom. So on the first floor there's a restroom, but on the rest of the other floors, like the 14th, 20th, or you know how there's levels of the giant skyscraper parking lot, whatever, there's only a restroom on the first floor. So imagine you're like on the 20th floor because you couldn't find a parking lot or parking space somewhere, and you just had to wait even more time just to go down to the first floor to use the restroom. Like, come on, man, like that's gonna take a while too long. And so I finally finished the restroom and I go to the elevator. I go up to the 20th floor, and when the elevator doors immediately open, I see my family that's in my car just leaving. Like, they leave me. They leave me behind for some reason. And when I see this happening, I'm like, hey, why the hell are my parents leaving me behind? Like, this is outrageous. They can't leave their child behind. I mean, like, at the time during this dream, I was at least like 17. I mean, yeah, I'm almost an adult, but you can't just leave your kid behind. That's kind of rude. But anyways, I start texting my parents saying, why are you guys leaving me behind? And they just make up this excuse saying, oh, we didn't know that you were there. Oh, like, we were only on the freeway, which isn't true. That's kind of bullshit. So that was the point where, yes, I had to go to the second city by myself because my parents were very irresponsible and they left me behind. So I leave the parking lot, I go back down the elevator to the first floor and start walking towards the second city. And as I'm walking to the second city, I just had like this gut feeling that I should turn around. Well, not turn around, but look to my right. And when I looked to my right, like what I saw was, like, you know how I mentioned like next to the city is like a giant mountain. Basically, it looked like the mountain from real life, except it's as tall as Mountain Everest. And when I looked at this mountain, it looks a little bit different than a usual mountain. Instead, it looked like a little bit of a volcano because there was magma, lava started forming. Like, you know how volcanoes, when they spit lava into the air and then some lava falls out from the volcano and like starts pouring. Like, you know how volcanoes look. Everyone knows how a volcano looks. And I'm like, this looks very strange. A volcano, well, a mountain that looks like it turned into a volcano. Now, in most cases, people wouldn't just stay here for longer, they would run away. But since this is a dream, my mind was like, it's not a big deal. Let's just go back to the place. But I mean, since this is a dream, that kind of makes sense because dreams tend to be unillogical sometimes, but that's just how it is sometimes. I mean, I would agree to, like, if I saw a volcano that looks like it was about to erupt, I would immediately fled the area I'm at and travel like 2 more states behind. Anyhow, though, I get to the second city and then I start lecturing my parents, saying of how it was very irresponsible of you guys just to leave me behind. Like, no wonder what could have happened to your child if you just leave me behind. And then my parents were like trying to say some dumb excuses, but I just had enough of it. I didn't want to talk to them as much, but we started trick-or-treating some more at the second city. And as I'm trick-or-treating, I see one of my friends at one of the card game stores, and I am like, yo, is that you? And he's like, yo, is that you? And so for the purpose of the story, we're going to be calling my friend Trunks because I like to watch Dragon Ball sometimes, but for the sake of the story, we're going to be calling him Trunks. And Trunks was one of my friends that was a little bit chubby, but he was generally a gentle giant. And what I mean a gentle giant is that he's a little bit pretty strong. Like, if you would try to mess with him, like he's gentle. I mean, he wouldn't be too rough, but like everyone knows how gentle giants are in real life. So me and Trunks start talking for a little bit, and we end up going back to our family, well, my family, because Trunks for some reason was trick-or-treating alone. And we go back to my family and we start trick-or-treating a little bit more. And after that, we go back to my house because apparently my parents say that, hey, listen, after trick-or-treating for 2 cities, we're now going to go back home so we can rest for a little bit. And then we can go, and after being rested, we can go over to the other 2 cities and get the rest of the candy. And so that's what we're going to do. So we drive back home and we start resting for a little bit. Now, as I'm playing video games in my room during the dream, I noticed something's a little bit off. And what I mean something is a little bit off is that, you know the volcano that I told you guys when I was walking to the second city? Basically, Now that volcano is not really in a great shape. And what I mean not in a really great shape, I mean that mountain not only is a volcano, but it's now a mega volcano because now there's even more lava and it looks like it's about to explode. And so when I turn to my friend Trunks and say, hey, look at the mountain that's a volcano now, and he sees it, and he's like, shouldn't we evacuate the city or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I think we should start getting going. So I told my parents that what's going on and how there's this giant mountain that's turned to a volcano. They see it, like, oh my god, we gotta get out here. So my mom rents another place to go, which is five city blocks down away from the giant mountain, so we can live there, so we don't have to deal with more chaos. And so we start packing our stuff up because we gotta get the hell out of here. This mountain's practically about to explode. So we end up getting all of our stuff. I don't know how we fitted all of our stuff when we were packing into the truck and some of the other cars, but we got a delivery. I mean, a delivery truck. Well, it's not called a delivery truck. I don't know why am I saying delivery truck, but it's like a moving truck. That's what I was trying to say. God, sometimes I can't say certain words because for some reason my brain tends to get very mixed up. Anyways, though, we start heading to the car and we start driving out of where I'm living. And so we get on the freeway to where we're going to the next city to we live in so we can get away from the volcano. And right as I looked behind me to where I was viewing the volcano, suddenly the volcano had enough pressure and it just erupts. And when it erupts, like, there's just a bunch of debris shooting in the air. And keep in mind, this mountain is as tall as Mountain Everest, so it's really big. And not only that, but since it's shooting debris in the sky, it's practically shooting debris into space and causing them to become asteroids. Not only this is causing a dangerous event, it's causing like an extinction level threat. So yeah, that's not great. But so now that this is happening, I see all this going on. I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna even make out of alive? And so somehow my dad turns from a normal driver to a really skilled driver because now he has to dodge all of these asteroids that are falling down the freeway. So now he's just dodging all this, and since we're dodging all this, we're also going fast because we want to escape this chaos. But it's been at least like, it took 20 minutes just to get through all this into the city. I don't know how we made this, but we somehow escaped the volcano and we managed to get to our new house that my mom got. And yeah, somehow we managed to escape this, and we did end up trick-or-treating for the last time. I mean, not the last time, but the newest cities that we are now living next to. And yeah, that's the whole entire story. You guys probably have noticed that this video is a little bit longer. That was because I was just kind of having a little bit of trouble to explain a little bit of the story. I mean, this is a dream after all, so there's going to be a little bit few things I might not remember, and I'm going to try to remember it, and so that's why I was stuttering in this video. But overall, moral of the story here is that just don't live next to a volcano, because if you do, it's probably going to eventually erupt, and then what's going to happen is that it's going to destroy your city. I mean, it's happened multiple times over the years, and that's why I stay in places that don't have volcanoes. But yeah, that's the whole entire story. Hope you guys enjoy this story. I would really appreciate it if you guys can press the like button on this video, or else if you don't press the like button on this video, then you're never going to see me have Call of Duty gameplay on this channel ever again. Yes, I know that you guys sometimes like seeing this Call of Duty gameplay, but I'm not going to play anymore if this video, if you guys don't press the like button. But other talk, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I'm pretty tired right now. I wasn't really going to make this video today, but I'm still going to make it because I have another story time to make on this channel and more video ideas for Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Peace.